everybody. Welcome back to day 3 of the International Spacecraft Exploration Challenge Mission Oz, brought to you by Space Teams. How is everybody doing today? Let us know in the comments. How was yesterday and what did you accomplish? I saw some really cool pictures, Natasha. Did you get a chance to glance at those ships that they were building?
Very impressive. I can't wait to get some commentary from our mission expert, but awesome job, some pretty cool designs.
Yes, and if you haven't done that yet, that's okay. You still have time to go back. You can always go back and complete those previous missions. Go back and create your alien planet and submit pictures. There's special awards for most alien planet and coolest ship, which does not have to work, by the way, which, I mean, I don't even know what that could look like.
Use your imagination. Well, Claire, there's a comment here from Clifford. He's tired but happy.
Okay, that's a
Working
good place
hard.
to be. Yes. Awesome. Keep letting us know how you're doing and how it's going. Remember, if you ever need help, submit a help ticket, and I'm sure our mission experts will also be ready to give some tips. We'll have Alex back and he'll recap on yesterday's shipbuilder, and he'll probably offer some advice on how you might be able to improve or if you're stuck. So, also, we've been getting to know a lot of you guys, and I'm really excited to hear about where you're from and more about you. But, Natasha, we haven't really shared much about us.
They don't know anything besides where we live in Texas.
Oh, that's true. Well, y'all don't know this, but Natasha and I actually went to undergrad school. We went to college together. We were roommates and classmates, and we were in the same degree program. I would love to know from you guys if you could guess, what do you think our degrees are in? We have the same degree, but what was it? Let us know in the comments.
And while we're waiting, here's a comment. So, Chelsea really enjoyed listening to the guest speaker and learning about their past life being an astronaut. So that must have been with Dr. Shamatov. The speaker presentations have been so cool. I hope the students are enjoying them because it's like a great way to show like the real world of what they're doing in the simulation.
Yes, and these speakers are like real life heroes. I was actually on social media the other day, Natasha, and code.org was actually sharing a image celebrating the speaker that we had last night. So Dr. Evelyn
Whoa.
Morales was actually their highlight of what they were wanting to celebrate this month, which is so cool.
All right, we have one guess of what our degree is. So, anybody just joining, what do you think Claire and I studied for our bachelor's or undergraduate degree? So, there is a guess from Donald that we are
Ooh,
physics majors,
physics. I do love me some physics.
and that is the trend.
Huh.
Physics. So, we're going to let you know that is not correct.
We must
But
be giving off
close.
this vibe
The
of
physics vibe.
physics vibe. I don't know.
I'll take it.
Hmm. Any other
Ooh.
guesses, guys? You can go general, you can go specific.
Oh, chemistry.
Okay.
It's pretty good. Okay, we're getting closer here with engineering.
Okay. There's a hint. Getting closer with
I like this
engineering.
one.
Space experts. I mean, yes,
That's why
but
we're here.
if
No.
that were a degree.
Ooh, look at this one.
Photonic engineering. I'm going to look that up because I do not know what
I
that means.
They deal with photons, is my guess.
Oh, okay.
Jackie says science and physics.
Okay.
And we have someone who has guessed it.
Ooh, we have someone who's right. That's it. Yes, we are both aerospace engineers. We both went to Texas A&M and graduated with our degrees in aerospace engineering. So well done. You got it right. Okay, so I also have some questions for you, Natasha. We have our experts coming back pretty soon, but I want to know more from these guys. They're commenting really well today, so I want to hear more.
Yeah, I love it.
Natasha, question for you first, though. What would you
Ooh.
bring to space? And if y'all have an answer, let us know in the comments. What would you bring to space?
Okay, so I'm gonna bring a couple things. Is that okay?
If they're small, they must fit in a lunchbox.
Okay, deal. So I'm thinking like a phone or camera so I can
Okay.
obviously capture everything. A notebook to write down
Hmm.
my thoughts of like what I'm experiencing. And then I'm trying to think of a food. Like I really want to bring ice cream because we have a really good vanilla ice cream here, but I would need like a special freezer for that.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I
you're
would bring.
and it's strange that you would just go plain vanilla. Like that's the
I
thing that you would
love
bring.
it. Yes. What would you bring, Claire?
I mean, all the chocolate. I don't know if that because that's probably not in the nutrition plan that NASA selects for the astronauts. So I would definitely bring chocolate, um, and probably a book to read. I don't know if they get much downtime, but I'd probably bring a book, maybe a space book to read in space.
I was imagining you would bring your art supplies to do
Ooh,
some painting.
I would. Yes, Nicole Stott did that. She painted in space, or I might bring my flute. I don't know. So many things. I'd probably bring some science experiments just to experience what it would be like.
Well, we have Ghost Walker said food.
Food. Okay.
That's there. So,
Valid.
well, depending on where you're going, I'm thinking like International Space Station.
Yes.
They generally provide food.
Yes. What
A
else? A
Kindle,
Kindle. There you go. You bring all the books.
iPhone,
And a charger. Oh, good thinking. Bring
smart.
that charger. I don't know if there's regular outlets. I'm assuming.
But I like the Kindle because then you can have a ton of books instead of just the one.
Yes. Yes. Definitely.
Claire, this is
So,
for you.
oh, chocolate. Yes, Jackie. Right there with you. So, I also want to know, Natasha, have you seen the movie, the what is it? Buzz Lightyear
Yeah, the
movie?
Lightyear.
Yeah. Have you seen that one?
I have seen Toy Story, all of is what are 1, 2, and 3 is what we're
Uh,
at,
and 4? I think
and
there's 4.
4?
Yes.
Yes, I've seen 1 through
Okay.
3.
So you know about Buzz Lightyear. So did you know that he actually went to space?
Like, no. What?
Okay, not the real one. He's not real,
Oh,
Natasha, but
okay.
the action figure actually went to the International Space Station on May 31st, 2008 on Discovery's STS-124 mission. Buzz Lightyear went up with astronauts and I mean, they chose to bring him in space. Let's see who it was. I have a video to show you. And there's Dr. Shamatov.
Ooh,
So
of
let's take a
course.
listen.
Today we'd like to talk a little bit about gravity. Gravity is a force that controls motion throughout the entire universe. It holds us to the ground, that is, whenever we're on the planet.
It keeps the moon in orbit around the Earth, and it keeps the Earth in orbit around the sun.
Gravity is the attraction between two masses and is mostly felt when one of the masses is really big.
Like the planet Earth. Earth is really big.
Earth is big. So imagine we're back on Earth, and when something falls, accelerates to the ground, it is because of gravity. We call this normal gravity, or even 1g.
1g has a value in units that we measure as feet per second squared, and it's 32 feet per second squared, or 9.8 meters per second squared. So if you drop a ball like this one on the Earth, it's going to fall at 1g. Of course, it doesn't do that here.
Yeah, here on the ISS, it is actually falling, but as you can see, it doesn't look like it's falling.
And the reason is because all of us are falling together. Mike, me, the ball, and Buzz Lightyear, we're all falling together. And actually, what's happening is we're moving so fast forward that as we fall, we keep missing the ground as the Earth curves away. And that's basically what an orbit is.
I love that.
That's so good. All right. So would you bring an action figure into space, Natasha?
No, but I love Jackie's answer that she would bring her dog or
Oh, that's a good
or a
one.
koala because they sleep and wouldn't be annoying.
I sleep heaps, so wouldn't. Huh. I don't know anything about koalas.
I don't either.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Okay. Let's see if I can get this to advance. Okay. Ooh. All right. Another game for you guys. Let us know in the comments. Can you guess this picture? See if you
And
can tell what it is.
yeah, this is something that Dr. Shamatov brought to space. So this is another object brought to space. If you can guess what it is. They didn't even need 2 seconds to figure it
Wow.
out, Claire. This is a smart group.
It is a smart group. Yes, obviously, it is chess. Dr. Shamatov played chess on the International Space Station. I don't know if he was the first one, but I'm assuming he is.
We'll say
And
yes.
you can actually see that chessboard at Johnson Space Center, right, Natasha?
Yeah, and
I've
he
seen it there.
actually played with students, 3rd graders that were on Earth. He was playing with them on the International Space Station. I remember him saying that he got beat by the 3rd grade.
Oh, okay. So you should probably bring a game up that you're really good at. I would think that you'd. I don't really want to lose in space. I mean, that seems like bad luck, right? Okay, here's another one. Maybe this one's harder. See if they can handle this one. Can you guess what this picture is?
It's
Let us know.
orange.
It's not
shiny.
chess.
No. Probably not a game piece.
If you were to bring a game in space, Natasha, what would it be?
I think charades would be really fun to play with, like, in microgravity. That can make some entertaining game.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Where we have a guess for a solar panel. A door.
I could see the shape maybe is solar panel-like.
Hexagonal.
Exactly. Agreed. Yes. Very observant, that one.
Part of a 3D printer.
Oh. Okay.
And then just admitting they don't know.
All right. It is spheres, robots on the International Space Station. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, this is part of the Zero Robotics competition. You had Mazan on, I think it was yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, and so this was part of this program, and students can code these robots that are on the International Space Station.
That is so cool. Yes. All right, you guys are so smart. So real quick, we'll do some announcements and then we're going to bring on our experts from yesterday and the one that will be telling us all about today's mission. Make sure you guys submit those daily reflections because again, we will have a raffle at the end of this live broadcast and we will pick somebody that will win Space Team swag just for entering those daily reflections. So make sure you go do that today. Also, when you have time, make sure you create that mission patch for your team, share a team photo, and create a team video because those are all special prizes that we will show and announce at the award ceremony on the last day. So make sure that you guys do that. All right, without further ado, we are going to bring Alex back on so he can tell us all about how yesterday went. Hi, welcome back, Alex.
Hello.
So yesterday was Shipbuilder. How did it go?
Pretty good, I think. Yeah.
We'll find out.
Okay. Well, I'm
Yeah.
going to show you some of what the students submitted. They submitted some pictures. You guys can do that in your daily reflections and also submit for the special award for coolest ship. I'm going to share some of what the students did, Alex, and get your expert opinion on these.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot going on in these. Yeah, the first one is clearly there's a lot of components on it. Looks like there's a couple of different engine types on it. So you're trying to carry as much stuff as you can. Yeah, that's cool. And that second one, that looks like it's kind of facing backwards, which is something I don't really see too often in these designs. So that's a cool take on it because in space, it doesn't really matter. You can go whichever way you want, basically. So yeah.
There's no up or down or left, right?
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, and these are some cool cinematic shots here. I love that first one, just showing the engine up close. That's really nice. And yeah, I see a lot of storage modules on the Team ROKD. That's an important component. It's really cool.
All right, and last one.
Yeah, yeah, I'm seeing some landers as well. People are putting those landing vehicles on here. Do be putting them on there because that'll help you in future activities. I'd recommend at least two. At least
Ooh.
2 landers. Just a bit of a hint. Yeah. Besides
Okay.
that, they all look great.
Awesome. So there was a hint there. Is there anything else that you would offer advice on if somebody is struggling with the ship builder?
People have been struggling with fuel efficiency, I think. So, my one comment on that would be just consider like if you're trying to do, say, a road trip from one city to another, you want to fill up your car as little as possible because you don't want to pay too much for gas, right? But you want to carry as much stuff as you can on this trip. That's kind of what the fuel efficiency score is like. So, if you can carry as much mass on your ship for the lowest fuel and still meet your criteria for delta V, you'll get a pretty good score.
Okay, great advice. So you have a trivia question for
I
our
do.
participants today. Okay.
Yes. So the question is, what does the RTG, it stands for radioisotope thermal generator. It's basically just a nuclear electric generator. Why does it glow red and orange? Some of you guys had those in the ship designs, so you've seen the parts. Why do they glow?
Let us know. They're thinking really hard on this one.
What is there like a mission patch behind you?
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I think so. It's a GNC thing hanging on the wall. GNC stands for guidance, navigation, and control. It's something my roommate has above his door.
Oh,
Yeah, it's from NASA.
That's cool.
very cool.
Yeah, maybe he'll talk about that a little bit on was it Thursday?
Well, depending
when he
on
comes.
time zone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, whenever he
Day
comes
6.
on.
Day
Yeah,
6.
Day 6.
yeah, day 6. Yeah.
All right. So he just waved. Hi, Waylon.
Yeah.
All right. So some are confused. They don't know. Others
Okay.
say maybe because of heat,
Okay.
radioactivity,
Radioactivity is a good guess. Yeah. So is
radiation,
heat. Yep.
because they collect heat and convert it to electricity.
Yeah. So I'll just go out and say it. It is essentially because of the reaction that goes on. It generates a lot of heat, right? You can't possibly convert all of that to electric power. There's no way. You're not going to get that efficient. So you need to, instead of keeping all that heat inside the ship, you need to basically throw it out into outer space, let it radiate out. And that's what that part of it does. That's essentially just the metal of the radiator part of it getting so hot that it glows. So I have a follow-up question on that. How hot does it actually get?
Ooh. So what range or units? You want to give them a hint there?
Yeah, just any units you can do, Kelvin, Celsius, Fahrenheit, whatever you're comfortable with. And just for reference, how about the ones that are in Spacecraft Builder? Someone said 1,000,000 Kelvin.
They're getting hot.
Just for reference,
little
the
warm.
temperature of the sun is about 6,000 Kelvin, a bit under. On the surface. In the core of the sun, it's 15 million Kelvin. So, okay, a very specific one, 1273 Kelvin. That is that's about 1,000 Celsius. Okay,
Somebody Google.
good guess. That's a good guess. Okay, 1,000 Celsius. Yeah, 5,000 Celsius. Okay. Okay. Well, a couple
Just
more
degrees.
trickle in here. Okay.
Pick your measurement, your unit.
1569, very specific. Yeah. 27 million. I see. That's really hot.
That's really hot.
It doesn't matter what degrees. That's really hot. Um, yeah. So I'll give it. The ones in the spacecraft builder, they don't get above several thousand Kelvin, like maybe up to like 4,000. And the colors reflect that. It's like a nice orange to red kind of glow. And the further away you get from the core of it, the colder it gets, and then eventually it becomes gray again. It doesn't radiate. So as far as like metals that we have right now go, they can't glow that hot. These are alloys that we have yet to develop that can radiate that much heat. Yeah, but metals will typically start to glow around like the 1200, maybe 1300 Kelvin range. They'll start to get like a faint red. And then as the temperature increases, they move into like orange. And then you would think they go yellow, but they go kind of like a pale orange to white as you get more and more just light coming out of it. And then after they cross about 6,000 Kelvin, they'll go into like the blue range. And that's why some stars appear blue and some appear, they're colder, they appear more red in the sky. So yeah. And the same thing applies to these generators.
Very cool. We've got some smart people here. Good guesses. All right, Alex, thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge and expertise. We will maybe see you on a later time or not, but thank you so much. We will go to today's expert now. Bye, Alex. Okay, so today, Natasha, we have another expert who will be talking about today's mission. Welcome, Brian.
Howdy.
Hey, so before we move to you, Brian, I did see a comment from Jackie that we had the school name wrong on one of their shipbuilders. So I just want to give that shout out. We'll make sure to fix that. So apologies there. We want to give credit to who built that ship. Okay, so Brian, I'm going to put you in the hot seat here.
Wonderful.
Right. Tell us about yourself. What are you studying?
So currently I'm a Master's of Science student at Texas A&M University, and I'm currently getting my degree in aerospace engineering, so getting a master's degree in aerospace engineering. And I previously got a Bachelor's of Science in aerospace engineering, not at Texas A&M, so hope that doesn't cause too much friction here in the lab.
We'll allow it. What are you planning on doing? So are you stopping at the master's? Are you trying to keep going with the PhD?
It's sort of up in the air for me right now because I just want to see where this master's goes, and if I want to continue this research here at A&M or maybe at some other institution, or if I want to continue this work in a different field, whether that's within the private industry or with some kind of public space agency, whether that be NASA or ESA, which is the European Space Agency.
Very cool. And what is your role in developing spacecraft?
So I'm currently the astrodynamics expert, and I lead the astrodynamics team on the spacecraft platform. So that involves a lot of what will be relevant in today's activity, but the motion of things around planets or around a system, and how the physics of that and how the dynamics of that works out, and if we can predict where certain things go, and that's all under my sort of umbrella of astrodynamics.
It's just a cool word,
Yeah,
astrodynamics.
it's a fun one.
And what is your favorite part about spacecraft and space teams?
So I think that it's a really easy answer, but everything looks so pretty. Like it's really cool to with the full suite. So you can see it a bit in space teams, but with the full suite, being able to just zoom around the solar system and look at all these really high fidelity pictures and images of stuff that is rendered in real time in the software of the moon, of Mars, and you can see all of these canyons and crags, and it's just really cool to see that and to know that like it's generated properly, like the physics of everything works and it makes sense. It's not just a picture on a very smooth sphere, like everything's there.
And I think encouraging the students to use their photography skills, right, as they're doing these different missions and trying to get like a cool shot of what they're building.
I saw a really cool shot from a planet that was submitted by Dimitri, actually, of a sunset. I think it was a
That was
sunset, or
cool.
maybe it was a
Yeah.
sunrise.
Mhm.
That looked pretty amazing. So I love the creativity that the students are using.
Yeah, it's all incredible.
Okay, so then what are we doing today? What is today's mission? And I can, Claire, if you want to share the slides.
Yes.
Yeah. So today we're going to be doing an activity that is an introduction to orbital mechanics. Orbital mechanics and astrodynamics for a lot of people are the same word, but there's a little bit of differences that won't matter too much for the people doing this activity. But this is an orbital mechanics trajectory task. So part of it involves the mission of getting from Earth's orbit. We've got a vehicle here, getting from Earth's orbit and trying to transition into this rogue planet that has crossed into the solar system, our solar system, that we're calling Vulcan. So within the activity, we have a few different views. You can do Earth view, or you can do the solar system view. And in the solar system view, we can see the trajectory of this rogue planet, Vulcan, that has passed in between Mars and the asteroid belt. And we've got Earth right there, the small little dot. So this activity involves 3 different stages. So the first is getting a burn and getting your object, your spacecraft that you developed in the previous activity, out of Earth's orbit to then intersect with the orbit of Vulcan. Then once you're close to Vulcan, we want you to then slow down so that you can start orbiting this rogue planet. And then the third stage of this activity is doing a task that we call remote sensing, which is analogous to the real world in that you need to take pictures of an object, or you need to do a lot of scanning of an object in order to determine where you want to land or where you want to put some probes or stuff like that. So this is supposed to replicate a lot of the work that goes into that. So as we see here, back at Earth, we have these things called maneuvers. And if you are a spacecraft already orbiting a planet, it could be Earth, it could be a different object like the moon or an asteroid, or even the sun entirely, there's a few different maneuvers that you can do. And the 3 main ones are called a prograde or retrograde burn, a radial in or radial out burn, or a normal or an anti-normal burn. Prograde is a burn where you're going and you're pushing to go forward, essentially. What happens is you go faster right where you are, but then you also end up changing your orbit from this nice circle to a long ellipse. And if you push this prograde high enough, you'll transition from an ellipse to either a hyperbola or a parabola orbit. And those usually don't intersect at the same point. In fact, they absolutely don't intersect at the same point because they then move out of the sphere of influence of a planet. So this is just a demonstration showing what a prograde orbit of a delta V of about 1.79 kilometers per second looks like. And this is then where the spacecraft builder information comes, because you want to make sure that you can that your spacecraft can handle very high delta V loadings. This next picture is a little demonstration. It's a little bit wonky to see because it's in 3 dimensions of what a radial in or a normal burn look like. So a radial in will sort of slide the orbit around, and a normal or an anti-normal burn will tilt the orbit around. So that tilting is what we like to call inclination within orbital mechanics, and you'll see it a lot, and it'll actually come up in this activity to getting a good scan at Vulcan. So we'll get to that in a little bit. So the task that you want to do, once you are at Earth, you can transition to the larger solar system view. And this is a massive orbit. It's a pretty large prograde thrust if you're doing just one burn in Earth's orbit. Or you can stage and do a few different burns. And the goal is then to get this orbit so that it intersects with Vulcan at this far end here. This path is what is called a Hohmann transfer, which is generally called the ideal transfer if you're going from one body to another body. And the goal is to stop orbiting Earth and only orbit the sun until you can intersect with Vulcan. And the same procedure works if you're trying to go from Earth to Mars, or if you're trying to go from Earth to Jupiter. And you want to make sure that you leave that Earth orbit and get to that new orbit. So then once you get through the intersection of Vulcan, a new tab will pop up, and that is then the remote sensing tab. And you can then start to do a few different burns to get from this line, which is the trajectory of your spacecraft coming from Earth, to then slow down a lot to start orbiting Vulcan. In this picture, I have it at a tilt already, but you can do any number of procedures to get around, any number of maneuvers, sorry, to start orbiting around Vulcan. Again, you want to slow down a lot so that now you're orbiting Vulcan instead of still orbiting the sun. And once you get this orbit of any shape that you want, we now go to the final leg of the activity, which is the remote sensing. So we get these cool image once you're done sensing, but you basically start a scan of the entire planet. Right over here, there'll be a button. It'll be this light blue for everyone, or this light bluish gray for everyone. And our spacecraft and your spacecraft will start to orbit around that final path that you guys have set out. Here it's in blue. It could be in yellow or purple or green for anyone doing this activity themselves. But as this vehicle, which is a little sphere here, as it rotates, it will start to reveal certain aspects of the planet's surface, as seen with a few different colors, ranging from a bright white to greens to blues to reds, and then finally to black. And this is then going to be useful in determining where you want to land on an object. You only have a certain amount of time for the scan to happen. It doesn't finish once the whole planet has been scanned, which makes sense in reality, because if you have a mission to Mars, you can't wait 10 years orbiting around Mars to find the exact perfect spot. You have to see what you can see, and after a certain point, you have to make your decision. So this makes sense if we're orbiting Mars, or if we're orbiting Venus, or this mysterious rogue planet, Vulcan, that has passed into our solar system. And once you have finished that scan, you can now change the space and the location of this green dot, which is then going to be your landing site. And using our test landing site optimization little feature here, you can determine if that's going to be a good spot to land, maybe a terrible spot to land if it's a 0%, or an incredible spot to land with something closer to 100. And all of this is supposed to be analogous and applicable to the real world, where you're orbiting a planet that maybe you don't know its composition, maybe one of the planets that you guys created in the day one activity, maybe a planet like that actually exists. So we need to determine what's the best place to land, what's the best place to potentially find water or ice, or maybe the spacecraft that you're on has something like a magnesium reactor or something. So all of that is different for different missions, and that's what we're trying to attempt to replicate here.
Very cool.
Yeah. And we'd love for everyone, while you guys are completing this mission, to make sure you take pictures of what your orbits look like and what your final scan looks like, because we want to see how you guys did. We want to see all of the different ways that your spacecraft can move about the solar system and move about Earth.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that really great explanation and overview. I know the students are excited to get started. But before we let you go, and you'll be coming back tomorrow, I think you had some special guests that you wanted to bring on.
Yeah. I'll bring the one that's more friendly.
Not even going to tell us what it is.
I'm going to put him in spotlight. Oh.
So this is my younger cat. His name is Sputnik, named after the satellite that was launched in the 50s. He's just about 2 years old. He doesn't love being held, but he's sleepy, so okay. Yeah, he's trying to scamper off right now.
See you, Sputnik.
And then my older cat, he's a little bit grumpy right now because he doesn't like being woken up from naps as much as Sputnik does, but he's off in the corner. He's observing me. Oh, there's little leaping Sputnik. But they're both wonderful boys, and that's one of the lovely things I love to do when I'm not working on spacecraft is hanging out with the kiddies.
Would you take them to space with you if you went to space?
I would really want to, but their personalities might be a little bit rough in the International Space Station or any number of missions out of Earth's gravity.
Understand.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brian. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you back here tomorrow to do a recap.
Wonderful. Great to see you.
Okay, Natasha, it is time for the raffle.
Woo!
Is everybody ready?
I'm ready.
All
I'm not even
right.
in it.
You're not even in it. That's right. Those who are in it are those who submitted those daily reflections. So make sure you do that. Submit the picture like Brian just suggested. We'd love to see those. And just by submitting, you get in tomorrow's raffle.
That easy.
Yes. Okay. Here is the raffle. Are we ready to spin that wheel?
Spin that wheel. Who's it gonna be? Ooh, congratulations, Olivia.
Olivia. All right, you've won Space Team swag. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Just a few quick reminders to submit those daily reflections and also make sure that you submit for the special awards. That would be the mission patch, the photo, the video. Here's your reminders. There's a picture right here. Somebody submitted their team photo. So submit just a team photo. It doesn't have to be anything formal. Then you'll be eligible for those special rewards at the end of the week. Remember to come back here in a couple hours to join the speaker presentation and submit questions for the speaker. We have a really exciting one today, and we will be able to read those questions to him at the end of tonight's broadcast. All right, guys, good luck today on your mission. We will see you back here in a few hours.
Bye, everyone. Good luck.